All right, so we're back, and it ended up being some pretty simple stuff, Lee,
Well, it was not simple. It took forever to sort out.
because it was so simple.
It was simple. You got to sit there and watch it. I had to figure it out.
That's right.
All right. So, what should we tackle first? I say the tearing is probably what we should go for first. You
Yeah,
agree?
I agree.
All right. So, if I jump over here into code, let's go to a terrain patch inside of our initialize. And, I'm thinking if we were to do something like if our size, and we take the modulus of 2 to that and set it to if the modulus or size modulus 2 equals 0, which means are you an even number? If you're an even number, could you please say do a log error, maybe something to along the lines of you are using an even number of vertices. This will result in,
Resulting?
yeah, resulting. What's wrong with resulting? This will result in tearing of the terrain. Just in case. I mean, that's
Just in case
completely
somebody cannot read the instructions we left behind
yeah,
for
this is
ourselves.
completely arbitrary. We're putting this in for no reason whatsoever other than, you know, it we just thought of it. All right, so let's go ahead and play. So, yeah, give it a sec to build the train. Yep, there's our tearing and some more tearing. Let's look at our console. Uh-oh. You are using an even number of vertices. This will result in tearing of the terrain. I wonder what that means.
Means we didn't follow our own instructions.
I told you, comments in my code were useless because I don't read them. So, config. If you set your patch vertex count to an even number, bad things happen.
That's why we left the comment behind.
Yes. So, all right. Now that we've fixed that,
Well, let's
we
go ahead
can
and
go
prove
ahead
we
and
fixed
play
it.
it. Let's go play it again and see what happens.
Nice.
Wow, look, no tearing. Yay. No errors either. So, yeah, that one was a fun one to figure out. So, let's go ahead and stop that. Now, for the problem of why we could only or sculpt in a very limited area, I was pretty much right on. I just had to find it. I had mentioned, I think, in the other video that somewhere in the code I was using a Y instead of a Z. There it is. So I was using a Y instead of a Z. But while I was trying to sort all this out and find it, I decided to rearrange some of the stuff that I'm doing over here in our handle sculpt tool. I've got a lot of code that's dealing with when we're deforming the mesh that I can move right into the deform mesh method itself. So I'm going to do that just to keep things nice and tidy. So if I move my patches here, then I no longer have to pass in a list of patches. Which means I no longer have to send the patches. And I will take the adding of patches to our unapplied patches down to this method as well. I mean, it's not entirely required. I just like it for being cleaned up a little bit more. I'm also going to take our position. All right, that's fine there. So if we hit, Then we go ahead and set our position. Actually, I'm going to move that too. So I'm only going to update our terrain brush position if we're hitting a terrain.
Mm-hmm.
So go here, clean that up. Make sure it reads cleanly. And if I clean anything else out, go ahead and build that. And then if we run, I'm going to adjust our camera too a bit. So if I take our camera, I'm going to set our max distance out to 100. This should allow you to get a little bit further out.
Yeah, much nicer.
So if you want to play with the brush.
Sure. So we'll bring it up, hit T to switch over, maybe size it up a little bit with the right square bracket, and then click, and hey, what do you know?
But you're painting in a straight line. Oh, no.
Well, I'm not done.
Yeah, I know. You love playing with this stuff.
Well,
You should have
fine.
seen him the first time I gave him the build to play with.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, especially when you ran off the patch and came back, which is something we're going to have to demonstrate here.
I'm about to. All right.
Oh, those actually didn't turn out half bad.
So, am I...
Are you what?
Hang on one second. And, there we go. 4 frames a second.
Why are you getting 4 frames a second?
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
What did you do now? Oh, yeah. There's probably something we need to do.
Probably. Oh, you want me to go ahead and demonstrate this other thing real quick?
No. Not at 4 frames a second, I don't.
All right.
How about we fix that problem first?
Okay. Awesome.
Now, the reason why is you let off that brush.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been updating or applying update mesh every time the brush is not pressed.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what this tells it to do. Apply mesh updates. Well, you've been constantly adding more and more meshes, and this is being run every frame. Because for some reason, somebody who wrote this,
Needs
in
to
some
clear
previous,
out.
probably needs to go and take our unapplied patches and clear them.
Nice.
I'm just saying that might be something you want to do. I don't know.
I completely agree.
Well, that didn't work. That didn't work any better.
Faily.
Yes, I know. I can't
right.
operate a mouse.
Let's jump back in here real quick. And we'll go ahead and set that back because I do like being able to go out a little bit further. It's
Easier.
much easier. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Much better.
For a sec, I thought you were going to start doing the Addams Family theme.
Due to copyright infringement, we can't.
This is educational, right?
That's true.
And I'm sure whatever you hummed wouldn't be an accurate representation of the theme
No,
itself.
no. All right. So now you're ready to show them the big fall through?
Yeah.
I mean, we can go ahead and prove real quick that...
I'm still not happy that we're down to 26 frames a second right now, though.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? I didn't even look at that. Oh, yeah, we were getting killed with the brush out.
Oh, yeah.
So
So if you bring the brush out again, what happens?
26?
Yeah, something's not clearing the way it should. We'll have to look at it, but we can demonstrate the problem, and then I'll go sort that out.
Woo! All right. So with my glorious terrain that I've constructed, let us run over here and spell doom for ourselves by bringing out the tool, and let's bring up the ground beneath us. Whoa! And as you see, stuff like that happens.
Yes.
Bad, 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 bad,
Right.
bad.
We are not doing the checks to make sure that
Dunk.
you continue to push your character above the terrain as you draw it. So,
Check
like I
me
said,
out. That's awesome.
this is just an R&D session, so this is not fully refined. And the other problem, what if you decide to go for a little bit of a walkabout and see what's beyond the horizon?
I'm walking about. Wait a minute. Beyond the horizon?
Yeah,
Like this way?
like any way,
I
it
know.
doesn't matter. Pick one.
Dunk, 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 dunk. Ah, bunk. Dun, 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 dun. Hang on. I gotta tell my beautiful fortress I love it. All right, I'm done. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so we can only go this way. Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here. It's still there. Look at that.
Still. But I loved it.
Well, you might want to go back. Did you remember to bring your keys?
Bring my
Oh,
keys.
nope, you haven't gone far enough
No, I
yet.
haven't
Keep
gone
going.
far enough. I know.
Wow, this is a big world.
Yeah. There we
Where?
go. There we go.
Oh.
I was trying to get it to where very little would be
Left?
Yeah, exactly. That does the trick.
Yeah.
It's like that's not the beautiful fortress of solitude that I left behind. No, it's just two measly little bumps. But that does demonstrate exactly what you were talking about earlier. We have no persistence whatsoever in the world at this point.
No, so,
Oh, that's awesome.
yep.
Right on
And
the
that's the
patch.
other part. Yep. So when you're on the patch line and you go off and come back, it puts in the patch as it was procedurally generated to begin with, which will cause shearing. So there is no code that is set up to
We
realign all of the patches back together again.
we
So that is just another rough part of the system. We're just trying to get tools in together. So at some point we might probably have to put together some sort of stitching method that just goes through the train after it's been all set to the database, and then just make sure it stitches everything all nice and neat along the seams.
Okay,
Or we can
so
make a stitch brush.
anything else?
Well, I'd like to figure out why we're getting really slowed down, or the slowdown that we're experiencing. Because something is definitely causing a major slowdown
When we
when you
bring
have
out
the tool out.
yeah.
Now, if we just start playing and you don't do any sculpting and the brush is out, I don't think it does any effect.
Let's find out. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to look at both as well. Okay. So right now, with your simple HUD up, we're getting, well, it's all over the place, but let's say around 70 or so.
Right.
Bring it out. Still
Yep,
consistent.
that's the same. Okay.
Now let's go
Draw
ahead
just a
and
little bit.
let's put the right brush out.
Still about the same.
Interesting. I'd say we made it go up. Sweet.
Yeah, so the more you paint, the faster your world gets. Yeah, that's it. Man, wouldn't that be awesome? The more detail you put in your world, the faster your game runs.
Heck yeah. Well, it does kind of seem that way for a second. um,
Well, set your camera to 100, zoom out,
Oh
and
yeah, that's a good point. Because that's what we did have earlier. Oh yeah, hang on.
Because what I'm curious to find out is if maybe it didn't build when we cleared the thing, and that's why we had the issue again.
Yeah, because now we're staying.
Yeah, we're staying consistent from
Yeah, so
start to finish.
doesn't look like we have a problem.
Yeah, so it looks like that last run through, it wasn't built, or it didn't compile the change.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Those changes were just you cleaning up some of the.
No. It was the adding the clear to the unapplied list.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm wondering if when we made that change, if it didn't get built or it didn't compile, which meant that the more you painted, the slower things got.
Right.
But now you're painting more than you ever did, and
Oh yeah, it's looking
fine.
great. Now let's do some.
Well, there is one other thing we can demonstrate here too. I mean, how fast and smooth this thing seem to be painting right now for you?
Oh, darn it. Oh, very well until I caused myself doom. Splat.
All right. Well, let's try something if you don't mind.
Sure.
So if we go ahead and stop. Oh, I can't.
What do you want? Okay.
Stop. Okay, here we go. Let's go back up to our delay
Mm-hmm.
and set this to 0.
Oh, you're trying to kill me, I see.
I just want to see with your, super fast, Starship Enterprise class computer.
That's just a recording machine.
Yeah. What happens if you try to sculpt without a fixed update on your sculpting tool? So the only thing we've changed is taken away the delay. So now he's going to be sculpting at whatever frame rate is.
Okay. Down. Down.
It's got a bit different feel.
Yeah, it's a little bit faster. I mean, strength, it goes up a lot more.
Yeah. Well, we didn't adjust the strength.
No. I'm just saying that it gives the illusion
Right.
that it's much stronger.
Right.
Because
Which
the
means
smoothness
that
is
you
still
would.
about the same.
Yeah.
Which means you would start doing things like turning strength and opacity
Way down. And the
Exactly.
faster your computer is, the more you would have to dial down strength and opacity to get the same effect of a slower machine. Where a slower machine would be sitting there trying to crank up their strength and opacity as fast as they can, or as high as they can, to get a similar effect. So by putting that delay in there, we're basically capping the speed of which we can do our updates, which means that on a slow machine and a fast machine, the feeling of the tool is the same.
Ooh, did I butcher this side? I can't quite get to it.
Not really. You're just seeing the seam because of the normal.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Because we're not using
Yep.
our own normal calculations, so the system isn't capable of smoothing across the patches.
Oh, what am I doing?
Moving the camera, which is awesome.
See that. All right, this is just to make sure we landed on there.
Yeah, now you might want to set the camera down to 0.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's fine. Okay.
It worked out. Not being cooperative with me. I was trying to show my beautiful backdrop. Hang on, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's take this back into about 20 or 15. Better remember.
Well, that's procedural. You can't
Yes,
adjust.
I know. I remember.
Max distance you can dial out or dial back in though. And
Hang on. No. I just used the wall behind me. Oh, did we already lose it because of persistence? No. There's my glorious mountain. Okay, cool. Well, we have demonstrated that we now have a tool and a brush working. And nice and fast. And we can see that by not capping the rate in which we utilize the tool, or that the effect is applied, that it would obviously be very different between each computer, and getting it consistent would be nice. And let's see, anything else, Lee?
Other than let's stop and put the delay back to it before we wrap up the video.
Okay, there we go.
So we were using a setting of 0.033.
It's a setting of Control Z, but that'll work as well. All
yeah,
right,
well, I needed practice.
Oh, I got you. So is that pretty much it for this video?
Unless there's something else you want to put in it.
No, I think we're now starting to get everything worked out, and seems like the system itself is working, so we can start moving on to some of the other tools and brushes.
I guess so. What do we have next? I don't even remember what we put up
Next up on the list was the lower sculpt tool.
Oh man, that one's going to be a hard one.
Oh, I can only imagine now, you know. All right, well, that is going to wrap up this video. Thanks a lot, everyone.